Welcome back to the Black Sheep Podcast. We're doing it a bit different today. We're in the house.
We're in our basement,
We're in the basement
recording. Now we have a table for Jess's laptop, and
I thought we needed a switch up, so we'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say about it. I wanted to do it different.
that's okay.
I didn't
Change
like
is good.
The couch bugs me. I want to be in a newsroom.
Yeah.
I want to be a news anchor at my news anchor desk, and I feel like I'm at my news anchor desk right now. Hi, this is Megan Kelly. Thanks for tuning in to the Megan Kelly Show. Do you guys listen to Megan Kelly? I want to hear about that too, because if you need to listen to anything other than our podcast, I love to listen to Megan Kelly. Candace Owens, such a good podcast. The only thing I don't like about it is not long enough. It's like 45 minutes. I like a long podcast.
Yeah, you can listen to like 3 or 4 hour podcasts.
Sometimes I look at podcasts and I'm like, oh, it's too short. That's how I feel. Like, you can't get into it enough. You know what I mean? Like, I prefer one that's at least 2 to 3 hours because then you can dig in.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's only 40 minutes, like you can like scratching the surface in 40 minutes.
I think a lot of people that are working and don't have time to sit and listen to those long form discussions.
Well, that's their fucking problem. Because they could listen while they're walking, they could listen while they're driving, they could listen while they're watching TV. Instead of watching TV, you could be listening to important information. You know what I mean?
It's taken me, like, sometimes I'll listen to Joe Rogan's podcast and it'll take me like 2 days to get through one because I'm working. And then I'll listen to it like while I'm doing something in the evening, and then maybe like 20 minutes in between sessions. So it's...
I pity the fool that can't listen to a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, you're blessed to be able to just listen all day long.
You know, what's that supposed to mean? What are you saying?
No,
about that?
It's a blessing that you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounded a little bit not like a blessing, but anyway.
What we listen to is so vastly different too, because you listen to all American politics and like Joe Rogan stuff, and I'll listen to all the spiritual stuff. Like I'll listen to like Four Visions, Audrey Marcus's podcast.
Aubrey?
Oh, Aubrey. Sorry. Audrey Marcus.
Which I sometimes listen to, but
I do love his podcast.
I don't know. It's kind of boring sometimes. Sometimes it's okay, but
yeah,
I get bored. I don't know.
Well, if it's not something that speaks to you, then don't listen. You gotta listen to stuff.
He doesn't talk about Tartaria, and I just need more people talking about Tartaria.
I know. Didn't Joe Rogan have a guy on talking about it?
Well, they touched on it, but they didn't talk about it. Joe's like, I don't even listen to Joe Rogan that much, honestly, anymore, because I just feel like he's I'm just not sure. I think everybody's CIA, and I think everybody's like trying to get me to like listen to fake shit. And I do like Joe Rogan, but he talks too much about making all drugs legal, and I don't believe in that. And I just think he's still a socialist at heart. He doesn't get it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, he still doesn't get all of it, in my opinion. Or he's pushing something else. Like, I don't know how you can't get it by this point.
Well, COVID woke him up.
Yeah, but he still pushes some stuff, and I'm just not sure. Anyway, whatever. He had Trump on, and
you take what resonates, you leave the rest behind.
Yeah.
Whatever like certain podcasts I'll listen to, and there's just like one snippet that I'm like, oh, that landed. And that's what I needed to hear, and that's all I focus on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So okay, just a breakdown of some news. Laura's gonna put this awesome picture in right about now. That's gonna show all of the Ukrainian soldiers very proudly holding up their GSG 16s, their pink GSG 1622 rifles that I just bought last week, and my friends have been making fun of me all week because I've got this like pink rifle that looks awesome. Like, okay, just hand it to me. You can't?
Probably not.
Why?
You probably get banned.
Really?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Put a photo up.
All right, we'll put a photo up. But anyway, so I get this gun, and of course, like 3 days after I get it, the Liberals announce another ban of like 374 weapons that they're restricting now, and mine's one of them. And it's so funny because I'm watching this interview yesterday with Vladimir Putin, and one of his guys shows him the gun that they've banned, and they're talking about it, and Putin's like covering his eyes and laughing because they're saying that it's like this low-powered plinker squirrel rifle, and here I am thinking that I just like got this sick gun, which it is. It's a great gun for what I need it for, but it's just funny because now I'm just getting ripped by all my friends because they keep sending me these photos that are photoshopped of the Ukrainian soldiers holding these pink plinker guns.
For anybody who isn't following this, basically this ban that he wants to take the guns from Canadians and send them to Ukraine. And
he wants to send them so they can go through them. So you're going to take a gun away from a law-abiding citizen that bought it legally, and you're going to send it to another country to use it to murder people. It's a fucking hunting rifle, and you want to send it to a foreign country to murder human beings with.
it's pretty crazy.
I think that's so fucked up.
Well, and there's a lot of logistical issues with this because they want
100%.
us
Like-
to mail our...
Well, they didn't say that, but that's what people are talking about. We're saying, like, how is it possible that the government's going to now gain control of these new 374 banned firearms? How do they
Right.
get them?
Right.
Well, one of the suggestions that they've made is through the mail. Okay? So you're going to have
Canada
hundreds
Post.
of thousands of
Yeah.
weapons being sent through Canada Post that's on strike, and they're going to send them in the mail to unsecured post offices. We live in we don't even live in a town, and there's a post office a few minutes away. I could get into the back of this post office with my pocket knife. Okay? So I'm going to like send deadly weapons to the post office in a cardboard box in an unsecured facility so that some criminal can break into it and steal the guns, and now we've got more illegal weapons on the streets of Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, or so fine, we're not going to that was a stupid idea. Let's scrap that. We're not going to do that. Okay, so how are we going to get the weapons? We're going to have the RCMP and the OPP and whoever collect them. Oh, okay. So that now go ask the police forces if they can spare some guys. Can you spare some guys to come and collect 150,000 firearms from law-abiding people?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck has time to come? I'd love to ask any cop right now, do you have time to start going collecting guns from law-abiding? Aren't there criminals out there that have actually illegal weapons that we should be having these RCMP and cops going after? Like, this is just so nonsensical. That's what the word that the BC, I don't know, whoever they were, Hunters or Firearms Association or something, they just said this is completely nonsensical. It makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
And it just clearly doesn't. Nobody's thought about it. And, you know, we talk about, the episode today is kind of about fear and worry. And I said to Jen, should I take it back? Should I just take it back? Because I've just bought it. It's still within my window to return. And she's like, are you taking it back based out of fear? Or are you taking it back based out of, like, you don't want it? And I'm like, well, fear. Like, I don't want to buy an expensive firearm and then not be able to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get in trouble for having it. So, yeah, it's based on fear.
We don't make decisions out of fear. We do not make decisions out of fear because then there's more repercussions that follow.
Yeah. So she's forcing me to keep it. Fine, I'll keep it. Okay, question though about the gun thing on the camera. How come I can watch gun shows on YouTube all the time? I watch guys reviewing guns on YouTube all the time. I think you're wrong.
I mean, I don't know, but if this is on Spotify and we're showing guns on a podcast,
It's just a pink,
like I don't know.
low-powered
Pew pew.
pew pew. I was so hurt. I kept saying to my friend, "Stop! Like you're hurting my feelings. My ego is being damaged right now."
I know, because you were so excited when you got it.
Anyway, fuck. What else has happened this week in the news? Anything else that you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I haven't been on any social media in this past week, so
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on in the world. And
Well, let's tell our listeners what's been going on then. Jen went away again to ayahuasca, and pros and cons of that. there's plenty of pros. There's also plenty of cons. The cons are she comes home and wants to purge everything. And as you listeners know, I have my period for every single episode that we do. So she comes home and I'm literally getting my period, and all I want to do when I the first day that I got my period, I just want to lay on the couch and I want to watch an old movie with a heating pad, and I just want to smoke a joint and I just want to chill. Like, I have no energy for anything. Last month on my period, that day, Jen made me get in the car, drive to London to go get deer hides because she just like had, and I was like, look, I'm going to level with you. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like going to get a fucking deer hide today and scraping the flesh off of it while standing on my feet, breaking my back. I don't feel like it. But we went, of course, nevertheless.
You're a gem.
Got the
You
deer
are.
hides. And then this week I was just like, look, yeah, I'm getting my period. I just want to lay on the couch. She's like, great, yeah, you do that. And then 5 minutes later, the whole house is torn apart and she's purging.
We did our daughter's room because she was home from school because it was a snow day, and her room had been avoided long enough. And I started to help her. And then we ended up all chipping in. And anyways, it took a morning. It was just the morning of cleaning out her room, and it felt really good. And we were all really happy after. But it was we ended up taking like everything to donations after. So anyways, you were a gem that day too.
I had to get rid of my New Kids on the Block dolls. I've had those since 1990.
Can you tell a story? Can you please tell the story on this?
Which one?
The helmet story. You got to tell.
No.
Yeah. On this podcast, please tell the helmet story. Oh, it's
No,
so
I'm
good.
sure you've heard it.
You got.
Okay. You've twisted my arm. December 13th, 1991. Okay. So this is now 12 months or so after I got my set of New Kids dolls the Christmas before. So this year, December 13th, my friend Tanya Arbor, who I'm not friends with anymore, she's depressing, she asked me to go to the New Kids on the Block concert. Somehow her parents got like 100 tickets because they had 100 kids. So anyways, my mom said I could go under one rule, which was that I wore my hockey helmet in her dad's van on the 401 to and from the show. Okay, so you have to go back to 91 and you have to remember the helmets. Okay, first of all, they're not like they are today. They smelled. They were old-fashioned-y. The only thing that I don't remember is if I had a cage or a clear, like Mighty Ducks 90s visor. I don't remember, but I had a visor on it, which made it even worse. So the other part to this story that must be told is that Tanya had a lot of brothers and sisters, so they had a molester van. It's still like pre-minivan era. Minivans existed, but if you had a lot of kids, you were still generally driving a molester van. So her dad shows up in the molester van, and there's 3 rows of seating. And in the very first row is her older sister, who probably is 15, give or take at the time, and her 2 friends. And then me and Tanya in the back, and then a couple of other kids in the back. So we're in the middle. And we're hanging out. We're, chilling. We're having a good time, pretty excited. And we hit the 401, and the dad turns around and he says, "Okay, Jess, time to put your helmet on." And I was like,
Don't make me. No.
and he's like, "Oh, no. I told your mom, that's part of the rule. You got to put it on." So here I am in the molester van at the window. And I'm just going to say it. Molester van / retarded van. It's one of the two. We all know it. So I'm at the window. I've put my helmet on now. And I've got my bag of New Kids dolls in front of me. So now I'm retarded with a helmet playing with my dolls. Okay. And so Tanya and I are like, whatever with the dolls. And then the sister turns around and says, "What's wrong with your friend? Is she like retarded or something?" And that's the moment that I look out the window in dread and then realize that everybody that's driving by me is looking at me going, They're all just laughing at me in this fucking helmet, playing with these dolls in this fucking short bus retarded van. And you know what? The way home, we get on the fucking highway and he fucking says the same thing. You got to put your helmet on. I was like, are you fucking... I wished I never even went. I don't even remember the concert. I just remember... I don't have any story to tell about the show. All I can remember is wearing the helmet and the girl turning around and saying, what's wrong with your friend? Is she like retarded or something?
I know, but the story's so good.
And, you know, as a parent, though, now, I mean, I totally feel it. I mean, my mom was a bit... That was before they had medians on the 401, so there was lots of, like, head-on collisions, and...
You were young, and it was, like... Was that your first concert?
Yes!
Yeah, so that's a big deal for
And it was the
a parent to
Skydome.
let... Yeah, that's a big deal
was
for
a
the
big
parent to
deal.
let their child go to in the big city, right? And, I mean... It goes alongside our conversation today around fear because that was so much fear that your mom had instilled and passed down,
which I still have.
and so that's trauma, right?
But that stems from
Yeah.
my grandma, so I don't know who she got it from. Like, I don't know who, like, my grandma's person was that created that in her. But that's not from my mom. That's passed from my mom to my grandma, then to me.
Yeah, it's intergenerational.
Like, I can
Yeah.
remember it being Christmas. We didn't live that far away. Like, my grandma lived in Cherry Hill, and we lived in either North London or East London, depending on the year. And I can remember my grandma saying, I don't think I'm going to come over this year because there's a storm in Texas, and by the time I get home, it might be headed our way. And we'd be like, Grandma, like, come on. It was just constant. She was just worried all the time.
Isn't it interesting looking back, though, and seeing how that impacted your mom, how that impacted you,
Yeah.
and how that can impact your daughter, too, right? Like that generational
Yeah, it's
fear.
Well, and then it's just how you cope. They see you coping in that same manner with the fear, and so that's what they take on.
The fear's passed down.
So it's
Yeah.
it's too bad, but I'm starting to recognize it, and I have been recognizing it for a while, but more and more and more, because I've got everyone's got issues and stuff, but I've got these issues with my hands and my arms where they're just so fatigued and sore all the time, and I'm starting to realize that it may have more to do with how I feel, my energy, versus not that I really thought there was a medical problem, but I'm really understanding now that I just think it's more this.
It's the fight response,
Yeah.
which is one of our stress responses in the body. right?
Yeah.
And it like radiates through your arms and hands.
Yeah.
Which is why people will clench their fists when they're really stressed out or,
Yeah.
in anxiety, and you're holding it in.
Yeah, well, I feel that because when I used to ride my motorcycle, I can remember really being like, oh fuck, like I'm really gripping.
Yeah.
Like I'm really gripping this hard. Or hockey, my stick, I was always squeezing my stick so hard.
Yeah. That's a fight response.
Even when I'm on the tractor, or like I'm finding always myself that I'm squeezing.
Yeah, the tensing of the muscles, right, is a sign that you're contracting. So you're holding energy, right? You're bracing for life.
Yeah.
So I know, like, when I'm driving and it's blizzard out and I'm worried in the car, I will be squeezing the steering wheel and I will stretch out my hands and just try to relax my body.
What about when you're the passenger? What about then?
And then I'm holding my face sometimes.
My little I sent this video the other day of this guy, this comedian, and he was this gentleman was playing it in the car for his wife, and it was like, I have a little helper. When you get married, you get a little helper in the car, and it was like, so funny. And the guy is saying like,
The light's green.
I have someone to tell me when the light's changing. I have someone to tell me when there's a stop sign coming. I have someone to tell me when I'm too close to the car in front of me.
Okay, look, you need a helper because you're busy critiquing everybody else's driving that you're not even focused on your driving. You're examining what's happening over on the left. And I'm like, the light's turning red. Like, slow down. Because she's like Paul Blart all the time on the road. Focus on you, not everybody else.
Look, I'm right, and I like to tell people. Yesterday, oh my God, listen, we're pulling a trailer, which is like, in London, we were in London, and London got a lot of snow for those in the area. And so I'm pulling a big trailer, and I'm driving down a slushy road, and this old lady comes out of a Tim Hortons and just goes, vrrt, like doesn't even attempt to slow down before she pulls into traffic. She just hammers on it and out she goes. And I'm like, so I said to Jen, don't. When I'm going to honk the horn at someone, I look at her and I say, don't. Because, like, this is necessary. She needs to know that she's in the wrong and that.
It's necessary to honk. Yes, I get that.
Okay.
To hold it for that long, to go around her, to stare her down.
It must have been
excessive.
It must have been a good 8 seconds?
It was long. It was
8 seconds.
It was long that you drove all the way around her, looked her down, and then laid off the horn.
Yeah. Well, I needed her to know. I know that you know that I know that you know that I know, lady, that you shouldn't be driving anymore. You've hit your fucking peak.
Yeah.
It's time to retire.
And that's the fight response.
Yeah, that's the fight response.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I'm not just a great citizen that knows everything about everything. You think it's part of my...
It's
I mean,
your
that's
fight
subject
response.
for debate. I don't know. I mean, it could be. You could be right. You could be wrong. You think so?
Yes. That's the fight response. You're in fight.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Not like I'm in...
You're not in a flow state and calm in that moment. That is not flow and calm.
I mean, I'm kind of flow and I'm kind of calm. Like, I know I'm not like raging, am I?
Yes. That is raging. Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I think some people would look at that differently, but maybe you're right.
I mean, I'm taking on some of, I'm learning from you in that way because I was always the people pleaser and I would never honk. And I'll honk now. I'm not afraid to make more noise now. But to lay on it, drive.
I just had to make sure that she understood that she was wrong. I just needed her to really know. And I felt that the 8 seconds was that. Now she's like, oh, thank you, Jessica. I am very aware that I made a mistake now, and I won't do that again, is kind of how I...
Yeah, I think that's what you would want to have happen in
Yeah.
all of those encounters.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, if it's not an old lady driving, usually it's a guy that's ready to come back at you and there's some road rage engaging happening. That's why I hold my face sometimes because I'm just like,
It's a client. She's like, oh God. That's my
I can't
teacher.
control anything. I can only control how I'm taking care of myself right here. For a while, I just look out the other side of the window and just try to focus on something else because I can't control anything that's going on. Just try to breathe. Look up at the birds.
Anyways, enough of that. I think it's good to have people on the road that are there to protect us. That's me.
Yeah, I'm always praying that our angels get us home safe and that we get to our destination okay.
I was once told by a psychic that my angels are on the top of my vehicle, holding on for dear life with helmets. And I thought the helmet part was really interesting that she would say that they had helmets on. I thought that was really funny. Because she obviously didn't know the story of the helmet, so I did think that was pretty funny.
It is really funny, and she
But-
said they don't usually wear helmets, Jess. They're wearing helmets because you're looking for...
I'm not looking for anything other than to make everybody else better around me. That's pretty well what I do. Just make everybody
Can't
better.
control anybody else, Jess. Only control you.
It's a hard pill to swallow for me.
I know. It's part of, but that's part of your own work,
Hard
right?
pill.
And that's part of healing that generational trauma with the fear and stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
there's so much fear around what other people are doing and what's going on around us that we can't control. And when we're in that fight response, we're trying to control our situation.
Yeah.
When we're anxious, like when we're that's all I need to control everything. That's like why I used to plan so much. I would plan my agenda full because if I knew what was coming, I was in control of my life. But that was actually to my own detriment because I would burn myself out. And I'd book so much stuff that I would be,
Would? Yeah. It happens still to this day sometimes. And I always say to you, Jen, what are we doing right now?
Oh, I know. Sometimes I'll take on too many
It feels
things.
like this is going to be like the
Yeah.
old days where
Yeah, old
then
patterns.
you're going to
Burnout.
burn out
Yeah.
and not be able to commit to things that
Yeah.
we've committed to.
I know. My old pattern is I would also get so excited because I want to do everything
Mm-hmm.
that I would lose focus on what's really important.
Yeah.
And then, but it's always my lesson every time I take on too many things. It's always like my reminder. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that I did a really good job in my 20s of getting over my fear and worry. But I think when I had Evelyn, it kind of...
It's a whole other ball game when you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
Yeah. I was like a real homebody, though. I didn't like to be away from my home for long periods of time. And then when I was 20 or 19, when I moved out to Banff, that was a big deal for me to leave because I really hadn't left before for more than like a week or so. So that was a big deal to leave and leave to nothing, to know nothing, know nobody, no real place to live.
Yeah, you're out of your comfort zone completely.
Right? My friend and I got jobs at a hotel, so we had like a bed to stay in and stuff, but that was pretty scary. And I remember for the first 2 weeks, it was just getting through one day at a time because I wanted to come home so bad. I was so afraid. It was just so uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so uncomfortable.
But you stayed.
But I stayed, and then after the first 2 weeks, it probably was only a week, really.
And then you were able to settle.
And then I was able to... Someone gave me a joint to smoke, and then I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
I think that's
I feel better.
That's the big way of getting through fear, though, is you have to move through it. The moment you contract again and you let your fear win, it becomes a really nasty pattern that you get caught in, and your world starts to shrink and get smaller and smaller because you're letting your fear guide your decision making.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. Because then that led to years and years of traveling for me.
Yeah.
Like years and years of working.
That opened the doors for you.
Working in the Caribbean, working...
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just being away, which was something I really never thought I would do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then even in my professional career, I got moved around a lot. Montreal, Toronto. And I was always fine. I always enjoyed going to new places and exploring and living and meeting different people.
You found the joy in it.
I always found the joy in it.
Yeah.
I'd bring my mountain bike and I would ride around.
So that is a great example of how you persevere through your fear, and it opened up all these opportunities for you to travel and explore and find the joy and to learn. Whereas we had an old neighbor that she left the home for an experience and got too scared, didn't like being away, called mom, come get me. Mom goes, okay. Went and picked her up, and she's...
Flew,
yes.
Not went and picked her up from an hour away across the country. We're talking here.
She flew across the country to go get her. And then was she a teenager at the time? Yeah.
Well, I mean, not even like a little teenager, like 18, 17,
Wow.
like not like 12.
And, she's in her mid-20s now and has a hard time still leaving the home.
I think she's over mid-20s. I think she's like 26 now.
Yeah.
27.
So that's a great example of when you let
home.
Fear and needing
Never
the comfort.
graduated high school, never went to university, and this was a top tier athlete with scholarship offers. And anyway, you're exactly right. The parent coddling is the detriment of the child.
And that's a great example, even going back to your story, that the parent's fear is still instilled in the child, because the parent's fear of the child being uncomfortable is a way that they go and protect, right, to rescue. And when you do that for your child, you're only harming them because they're not learning any of their own confidence. Yeah. They're not building any perseverance. They're not learning to work through things that are hard. They learn that they can get rescued and that they don't have to try.
Yeah.
And those are really valuable lessons for us. Otherwise, we will never break our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
why a
that's
lot
so
of people will also stay in jobs that are unhappy, stay in marriages, family situations, living situations, jobs mainly, because it's what they know, it's what's comfortable. And they don't want to leave the comfort of that routine.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like routines are a big part of people's safety net, right? I do things a certain way, I eat a certain way, right? I dress a certain way. That's why you see people that are also wearing the same thing that they wore in like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and they haven't broken out of that era.
Right.
They haven't changed because they're still in their comfort.
Right. That's a really good point.
And they're having a hard time growing. And I mean, our human walk here
Yeah.
is to grow. That's why we're here, is to grow and to learn and to change and evolve. And if we plateau at a certain point in our life and we stay there, we're going to walk to the end of our life in that state.
Yeah.
You know, and we have so much room to grow in one lifetime.
It's so interesting too, because fear and I don't even like to use the word anxiety because I think it's fake and made up, but because it's really just fear. And anxiety is really just another word for fear. I'm scared. But like having been very anxious child and not knowing that I had anxiety, I didn't know anything until I met Jen. Basically, I just thought I was, I don't even know what I thought, but my parents were not very emotionally educated, I don't think.
Not a lot of parents are emotionally intelligent because they only know what their parents taught them.
Yeah,
right?
that's so
And
true.
I mean, all of our emotions we learn at a young age.
Yeah.
And then we learn how to either express those emotions, repress them,
Yeah.
suppress them, and then how to cope and adapt with those emotions. So if
Yeah.
our parents don't know how to support us if we're tearful and they're just, stop
Right.
crying, just stop crying, it's because they're uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
Right? And
Right.
so for us, you know, growing and learning and healing, it means being able to feel all the things and allowing that to happen naturally.
Yeah.
Without trying to push it away.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people stay in, again, because I've been there. I've been a kid that was very anxious, and I've been an adult that was anxious after my accident. But I also feel like a lot of that was perpetrated by the physicians. The fear and the anxiety, they almost want you to stay in that and in the victim mentality.
That's the medical system. That's the allopathic care model, though.
Yeah.
It's a hierarchy.
Right.
So anytime we are disempowered and being the victim to our own healing, to outsource it to somebody else to say, what's wrong? Diagnose me. What do I need? We are giving away all of our own power to take care of ourselves.
It's so true.
And to know that we are actually the ones that heal ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. And thank God I had the smarts to not go on medication, because I always hate medication no matter what. But I really feel blessed to not have done that. To have been a huge pothead at the time, and just to know that I could sort myself out with the help of
natural remedies,
exercise, diet, and you obviously you helped help me with that. But I do feel bad for the people that get on the anxiety drugs and they never learn anything about conquering their fear. They just learn how to suppress it or dilute it, I guess, maybe.
Dim it. There's a lot of numbing, right, with medications. But there's for a lot of people, if you grow up with parents that are emotionally intelligent, and that's the majority of people, especially in North America, there's a lot of fear around feeling different feelings, right? There's a lot of fear with feeling uncomfortable sensations in the body. There's a lot of fear around feeling big emotions, to having a big emotional breakdown, right? A big emotional release. That's why I believe that the energy builds in the body until it has nowhere else to go and we can't hold it anymore. And then we have huge health issues start to come up. Or an anxiety attack, panic attack. It's like this burst of energy trying to come out of us. And I don't think, I think it's still a healing response. I do believe that. And, but the coping response to that is I'm uncomfortable, I need to suppress it right away.
Right.
Right? Instead of, why is this happening? Where is this coming from?
Mm-hmm.
What else can I do to take care of myself?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The coping response is, I don't want this. I need it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's fear driving that decision.
Yeah.
That's still fear. It's
Yeah.
it goes so deep. Fear goes so deep. And David Hawkins, he, in the hierarchy of consciousness, fear is very low vibration. It's 100 on the scale of 1,000 of consciousness.
Mm.
And courage is 200. And courage is where we can look at something and say, you know, like when you're out west, you tapped into courage.
Mm-hmm.
You tapped into perseverance. You tapped into curiosity, because you can't be curious and fearful at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is always just trying to protect
And that
and keep
ended
yourself
up,
safe.
yeah, and that ended up being something that was a major shift in my life. If I had never done that, like, I'd probably be pumping gas at Sunoco still.
Yeah, you broke that. You
Right?
broke that
Like, if,
fear loop. Yeah.
and even for my brother too. I think that helped him to be able to do something,
Well, yeah.
to leave
Yeah.
and do something, and not
Yeah.
just stay here.
Yep.
And work at some loser job
Mm-hmm.
and just accept it, because we're in London, and what the hell do you do in London?
Yeah. I mean, that's why you're the black sheep of your family too,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the pave.
Yeah.
What's it?
Paving the way.
Yeah, you pave the way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Pathfinder. Yeah.
No, it's so true that's so true that you have to move through it, and you have to move through it to be able to understand the importance of it and to build the character.
Honestly, I learned a lot of that from yoga, from my
Mm.
yoga practice, because yoga taught me how to be in my body with the discomfort
Mm.
and how to breathe through it. Because when we're in fear, our instinct is to run or to fight, right?
Yeah.
If we can mobilize ourselves from, like, just yoga
Mhm.
for a second, if I'm in a yoga pose, like pigeon pose, which is opening up my hip, and it is super uncomfortable, I'm looking around the room and I'm just thinking, how long, how much longer, how can I, like, I'm just moving and, like, inching my way just to try to brace myself and hold myself up as much as I can, because the discomfort is so overwhelming.
Mhm.
That the moment I actually started to learn to breathe and to relax my body and to become curious of the sensation
Mhm.
instead of just being reactive to it,
Mm.
I actually learned how to surrender and to learn that it's not permanent.
Mm.
And then I became more curious, because then I got a little bit softer, and then my body started to open up. And I wasn't contracting and
that's interesting.
bracing.
Mhm.
I was surrendering and opening myself up.
Mhm.
And that was a huge lesson for me, because a lot of the work that I've done in my own healing journey, it's all inner work. And my yoga practice was a big teacher on how to be in my body safely.
Right.
Because when I started to relax into pigeon pose, I'm teaching myself how to feel safe in the discomfort.
Right. Yeah.
And
It's
knowing
okay
that,
to feel pain.
yeah.
It's okay to feel, I mean, not pain, but
Well,
you
yeah,
don't
but
want to.
discomfort,
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And learning that it's temporary, because when we're in that state of fear, it doesn't feel temporary,
Right.
right? We're in a reactive state of protection.
Yeah.
And that's why we contract. That's why people's muscles, especially their neck, their shoulders, they're wearing their shoulders up to their ears, because they're always just bracing and protecting. That's why, like, crossing your arms, you're blocking, right? You're protecting, you're guarding yourself. Your most protective or your most valuable organ, which is your heart, we're blocking people.
Sometimes my arms just get heavy. Honest to God. And I just like to rest them on my boobs. My very large breasts. Like, I'm not guarded right now. I'm just, like, my arms are sore. This makes me feel
Why don't you just rest them in your lap with
Well,
your
I was
palms
resting them
open?
in my lap, but
Yeah.
my hands are cold.
Yeah.
So now they're
In your armpit, like
Yeah. Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yo, honestly though, can you imagine Kamala doing that thing with her? Like, what a loser! Did you see that skit?
Yeah,
What
that
a
was really
loser.
bad. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to fear. Yeah, so holding your hands in a crossed arm posture can be guarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll see it with people if they stand kind of off to the side, they kind of turn their body away because they don't want to face their whole body. They don't want to be fully open, right? They're protecting, right? Eyes down, chin down, right? Protecting. Don't want to show our true self, right? Don't want to be truly vulnerable to be seen. Like doing podcasting with you has been the most vulnerable experience because I'm being seen, I'm being heard, and I'm speaking from my heart all the time. Like these are our true authentic selves that are here. We're not putting on a show. We're not, being inauthentic here. And so that's also brought down some of my armor.
Right. Yeah, I see that.
Even like when I say weird things and like,
Espresso?
yeah,
Espresso?
yeah. Like it's,
Oh my God, what did you say in the car? Remember? Like yesterday?
I said two weird things.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
what did you say? Try and think of it. It was so good.
We don't have to go there.
No, we do, because I was like, come on, like that can't be true.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, it is funny. It is funny because, and no, for real though, because I do know, like early in our relationship, there was sensitivities that you had. Like I have 4 older brothers, so I mean, I usually can laugh at myself. Like I can usually laugh at myself. But when we first met, sometimes you'd get like embarrassed if you said something.
Oh yeah,
stupid.
Insecurity. That's insecurity.
But now you die laughing.
Yeah.
Like you just
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Because why get mad? It's so stupid.
Yeah, I've worked on humility so much
Yeah.
since knowing you. I've worked on humility.
And that's from my brother. That comes from Mitch. Because he would always laugh at himself. He would make fun of himself because he was short. So nobody could make fun of him for that because he already made fun of himself. Right? And he would laugh at it and like make joke here and there. He would make fun of me all the time. So you just had to laugh. Like you just can't be mad at it. He's pointing out the obvious. You're busy from Ready or Not. You're a dyke. No, I'm not. Ha ha ha. Oh, yeah.
I am.
You are. It's true.
You are. Yeah.
You're right. Like it is what it is. And then I'd make fun of him for having like a big nose, which he totally didn't. And I would make fun of him for being fat, which he was always kind of chubby. But that helped me to be able to laugh at myself.
Yeah. Humility has been a huge teacher for me.
And I've always made fun of Avalyn. I've always made fun of Avalyn when I can. When she does something stupid, I laugh at her. And I tell her, that's so stupid. That's funny. Like, what a nerd. You're such a gaylord. Like, I totally make fun of her all the time. I always have since she was a baby. And what does she do 90% of the time when something's stupid?
She can laugh.
She laughs.
She can laugh and see the humility in it and the humor in things.
Yeah. She doesn't take herself too seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. No, humility is a huge teacher.
Which is so important. Yeah.
When I was younger, I was terrified of public speaking. Like terrified. I would avoid as long as I could presentations in school. And I was on student council and I had to speak in front of like the auditorium and I don't know if anybody ever heard me, like I would just go quiet. Like I was and I'd be dreaming the night before, stress dreams, like keep me up at night. I'd be sweating profusely, shaking, like full stress responses happening. And when I got into yoga, I knew I wanted to teach it. I knew I wanted to be a yoga teacher. Actually, when I was in high school, I knew that. And that forced me to have to get out of my comfort zone when I was in teacher training, how to teach and be heard in front of a room. And I remember when I was learning, again, all the same patterns of staying up at night, dreaming about it, being stressed out, nervous, like all those really uncomfortable sensations. And when I was learning how to teach in a room and practice teach, I would go quiet when I was unsure of myself because I didn't want to be heard, right? I was scared. And then when I knew and felt confident, my voice would start to escalate. Like I could project. Yeah. And a teacher pointed that out to me and I was like, oh yeah, I'm hiding still. And I would like hide at the side of the room. I didn't want to be in the front of the class. Like there's so many huge lessons
Mm-hmm.
with teaching. And the more I did it, the more I started to flourish, and I loved it. And I got so much more comfortable in the room and being seen and demonstrating and supporting others. Like
Yeah.
it really pushed me out
Well,
of my
I
comfort
fell in
zone.
love with you teaching yoga,
Yeah.
especially when you'd come over and adjust me. Oh, sorry. That's so creepy. But like so true.
Yeah. Yeah. I love teaching.
Yeah.
I really love teaching. How I teach now is different though. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
a version of that,
Mm-hmm.
of the newer version
Yeah.
of me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
Yeah. I mean, every
Totally.
ayahuasca ceremony I come back and I like an old version of me has died and I'm stepping into a new version, which is why I
And then I'm
purge.
like, who am I getting now? Who's going to come home today? What am I going to get?
It's always me. It's always me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just clearing out the old. That's why like this past week has been so much clearing out our closet, clearing out just if it's not a hell yes, it's got to go. Purging is also like releasing
Except
fear.
last night we went to an ugly Christmas party sweater. And do you think I had a Christmas sweater? No. And do you think I had them? Oh, yeah. I had these great Toronto Maple Leaf ones. And I had a London Knights one. And I didn't have anything to wear. No sweaters.
Yeah, you don't even watch hockey anymore.
I know. But I'm just saying it would have been nice to have
Yeah,
an old
that
sweater.
was an old version of you. That had to go.
Yeah, it's true.
Go get a new ugly sweater if you really need to have one.
No, I don't.
You don't even like come on.
I don't. It's just that's what I mean though. Like the old version of me would have kept those things forever. You know what I mean?
Well, that's your
That's what
family.
I'm saying. Like I never would have let that go.
That's your mom.
My New Kids dolls. We never even got to that. But I had to purge my New Kids dolls that I've had since 1990.
Yeah, she looks at me and she's like a little kid again playing and she goes, "Do I have to?" And I was like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" They're collectibles. They're not collectibles. They've been taken out of the box, played with.
Danny didn't have a fucking shirt on under his sweater. Jordan was missing his shoes. He had these little black dress shoes. They were gone. I found the rest of them except I think Donnie was missing one, but then I think Avalyn found it somewhere else and then we put it back on. But so they were incomplete. Oh yeah, they lost their ball caps. Donnie and Joey had ball caps. They're gone. Anyway.
And that right there is your mother, and that is Avalyn, which is why she is a little pack rat with everything holding nostalgia, and it's got a little keepsake, except it becomes hoarding.
Yo, speaking of creepy toys and hoarding, and my mom, you know Raggedy Ann? I watched a thing on Raggedy Ann the other day.
What's that?
Do you know Annabelle? Do you know like the story Annabelle? Do you know what I'm talking about? And the Raggedy Ann? So Raggedy Ann is like Annabelle's the new version of Raggedy Ann, which I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
But it's anyway, it's kind of morbid. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Are you looking it up? Yeah, do it cuz my freaking internet's not working. Yeah, what do you got?
Oh, she's like that looks like a Halloween toy.
No, it's like it's one of the original dolls of
That's the original?
Yeah, like that's one of the original dolls that people had in like the early 1900s or whatever.
That's creepy.
And they were Raggedy Ann and Andy, but
I never had one. I don't know. They were creepy. So what's the point of you bringing this up?
well, my mom has them still. My mom still has them on like Avalyn's bed at her bedroom at my mom's house. And when I was a kid, I used to play with it. Okay, so 1915, a cartoonist illustrates this face. Then there's a book that comes along with it. Well, there's many myths and legends about the doll's origin. Some of them have been started by Grill himself. For example, one popular myth is that Marcella brought down a faceless cloth doll from her grandmother's attic and drew a face on it. Okay, this is definitely not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's creepy. Anyways, so
I was just saying that my mom's a pack rat, and my mom has all of the toys that she had from when she still has all of her Barbies from the 50s and 60s in a fucking perfect box and they're on hangers. And when Avi was little, I would, and she would, because I was never allowed to play with them because I was too rough, if you can believe it. And so my mom never actually let me play with them except for like once or twice, but she was there. Like she had to supervise me. I didn't really care. I'd rather play with G.I. Joes. I didn't really want to. I only wanted Barbie so G.I. Joe had a girl to have sex with. Like to date, you know what I mean? He just had to have a wife, so I was like, well, I'll need that for that. But like I didn't really want to. Anyway, yeah, paranormal investigators, that's what it was. So the story of Annabelle allegedly hunted Raggedy Ann and is based on a real case investigated by paranormal investigators.
This is the kid's toy.
Anyway, it's
Kid's
like
doll.
about hauntings. Yeah, like it's creepy.
That's like, okay,
and so
that's
what I'm
that's like that show that we watched. There was a show on Netflix around that, the kids being
Baby Reindeer.
yeah. And they were getting hunted. These kids getting hunted.
Yeah.
That is all satanic.
Yeah.
That is all fear based.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's so disturbing.
The point where I was going with that was just that they penetrate our minds with fear with these books and TV shows and movies. Like, okay, perfect example would be The Wizard of Oz, because that's an obsession that my mom has, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the first movie that I remember watching as a kid, would be Wizard of Oz. And it's fucking scary when you're a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
The Wizard of Oz is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did actually a deep dive into The Wizard of Oz, which is even more fucked up. But we put these ideas into kids' minds at such a young age. We program them into having these fears that they never otherwise would have had.
It's programming their young minds for fear.
So
yeah,
the funny thing is that when Evelyn was born, I was already pretty aware of a lot of this, so I wasn't exposing her to everything that they were promoting. But I mean, I certainly thought there were things from my own childhood that were okay. And I can remember putting on, I don't remember what movie exactly it was, but they're always Disney movies.
We've rewatched several Disney movies with Abby, and are like, oh my gosh.
And Avi couldn't watch them. It might have been Bambi. And like she couldn't, it was just like the very beginning. Everyone knows the beginning of Bambi. It's the most, and by the way, Disney always kills the mother.
There's trauma in all of them.
They always kill the mother. Yeah. And so you're like a baby and you're watching this baby's mom get shot and killed, and then the baby's on their own, and like
child's biggest fear, losing their parents.
Cinderella, lose their mom. Frozen, lose their parents. Snow White, no parents. Little Mermaid, no mom.
Broken family.
Right? Aladdin, no parents. Aladdin, no mom. Jasmine didn't have a mom either. They never have a mom in Disney. Like there's always something about trying to kill the parents or something. And so anyway, the teacher for me was Av, because I would put this movie on, and it would kind of bug me, because you know me, I love to be comfortable and be nostalgic, and I'm like, oh yes, we're gonna sit down,
mom.
Have a bowl of popcorn and watch a movie, and she would be like, ah! And like wouldn't want to watch it.
We couldn't finish watching Up because of the dog scene.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
She's always teaching us when there's trauma in the movie.
And then we're like, okay, and anyway, it definitely taught me. Holy shit, like,
yeah,
it's not even the bad, it's not, I was thinking she's never going to watch a thriller, she's never going to watch a scary movie. Disney movies are, and then I was like, oh my God, it's all movies, it's all shows.
Yeah.
Even like Rescue Bots, she used to love this, it's like a Transformers show, and they would always, there would always be some crisis in those shows. It's just so interesting.
Crisis, trauma, evil,
new tech. They're showing like introducing new technology to them.
Yeah, there's always,
it's really interesting.
The programming in children's media goes so deep, and that starts to instill fear in young kids at a very very young age.
Yeah.
And that's all programmed. And so even us watching it now, we're unlearning and deprogramming ourselves from what felt like nostalgic movies that we're rewatching as adults, going, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And then imagine the children whose parents are completely unaware.
Yeah.
and they are watching these movies 24/7,
Yeah.
all hours of the day and night,
Yeah.
and the kind of
It programs into
rhetoric that's being programmed into their minds.
Yeah, and then that plays out in your subconscious and your dream state will not then that's when we're meant to be dreaming, right? Beautiful dreams of like what we want to create in this world and what we want to do, and then they become nightmares, right? They become fear-based, stress-driven.
Yeah.
So a lot of adults struggle that have significant trauma, struggle to sleep at night.
And they're watching Dexter before they go to bed and don't know why they can't sleep.
Well, and that's a really interesting thing that you brought up, because a lot of people that are in those high stress states and those low vibrational emotions, they watch murder mysteries. They love scary movies.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
there's-
Perfect example. Cold case files at my mom's house.
Yeah.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So we get a call from Avi at like midnight one night.
Mm-hmm.
She was having a sleepover, and we don't live close. And she's like, "I need to come home." Remember?
Yeah.
And why? Grandma was watching Cold Case Files. Like, she's never seen that before.
Yeah.
She has
And she knows she doesn't want to. She knows that's not
idea.
right for her.
So she goes upstairs because she doesn't want to watch it, but then she hears like the scary music and then screaming. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like that's
But the
perfect
vibration,
example.
right? The all movies carry vibration because they bring us into the emotion of that, of what we're watching.
And she's a kid that doesn't wake up. How many times does she wake up and cry about being scared in the night? Never.
Yeah. That's good.
So it's that time that she's exposed to it that she does
can't
it.
sleep. Yes.
It's
yeah.
kind of it's really
That's why like
fascinating.
I can't watch especially I can't watch certain things before I go to bed because I don't want that to come into my dream state.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's a lot of honestly, it's a lot of unlearning of our own childhood, our
Yeah.
own upbringing, because what
Yeah.
we grew up with thinking is normal, quote unquote, it has actually been a lot of programming.
Because I did like to watch. I never liked scary movies, but I liked like Law,
Law and Order, that kind of stuff.
mysteries, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, like Law and Order,
Yeah.
court things. I was always fascinated with that, but I never liked scary movies. But even just the murder shows, the fear. It's so much fear.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fear. Pros and cons.
We do need some fear, only for survival of like, if I got to move because the car's coming at me, because that fear instinct, right? That releases the hormones, the stress hormones to get us to mobilize, to move out of the way from the car.
Yeah.
But then that we come back and we reset ourselves after. That we don't stay stuck in like, oh my God, now all cars are going to come after me, right?
Yeah.
If we stay stuck in that state, we're constantly just bringing more of that to us too.
Do you think that this is good or bad? So I grew up, like I think every kid in Ontario or Southern Ontario anyway, but Paul Bernardo, right? Like I don't know if you're a little bit young, but for me, I was at an age where that was very scary.
Yeah.
And in the 80s and 90s, the news was life. Okay, that's what the world revolved around, watching the evening news. That's and reading the newspaper. That's what everybody did. And I grew up being very aware because it went on for a long time before he was caught. There was several murders. So I grew up being obsessed with teal cars. Like I can always remember thinking a teal car because that was the car that he was driving, a teal car. And I can always remember observing teal cars.
It made you hyper aware, eh?
And like now, also I was a child who suffered sexual abuse, so I think that I was already aware. But I feel like there's pros and cons to that because I feel like the pro, because there's lots of cons, of course, obviously, but the pro was I wasn't naive. Like, you know, you see girls walking down the road now and they've got headphones in and they're on cell phones and they have a hood on. Like, they have no idea what's happening around them. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be like fearful, but we live in a country now with higher crime. You're more likely in Canada to be suffered a violent crime or violent attack than you are in the United States. Are you hearing me? We have a fraction of the people in Canada that they do in this that we do in the States.
Right.
And you are now more likely to be the victim of a violent attack in Canada than you are in the States, which is crazy. But so that's what I'm trying to ask you is do you think that there's a portion of it that's good because it teaches you to be aware so that you're not vulnerable? Because like women are
Being
vulnerable.
aware versus being scared are different.
Yeah.
Like when I used to go for runs, I wouldn't wear headphones. Or if I did, I would wear just in one ear because I was always wanting to be aware of my surroundings. And I think we all should be always aware and alert. But if you're fearful, then you're looking for danger.
Right.
Then you're scanning for danger all the time. And when you're focused on the danger, then you're only calling that in because that's all you're putting out.
Maybe.
So there's a difference with being aware of your surroundings and being in a good space and knowing where you are and who's around you and where you're walking, versus being like fretting.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And stressing and worrying and just like, is that car going to get me?
Right.
Is that car going to get me?
Yeah, of course.
That's different.
And then you have the other end of the spectrum, which is the complete naive person who has zero awareness whatsoever of anything.
Well, they're just in their head then.
Yeah.
They're just they're just in their head.
Yeah.
I think it's good to be aware because then you're present. If you're not aware, you're not present in the moment. You're lost in your thoughts.
Yeah. Right.
A big part of healing is being present, knowing like otherwise you're traveling forward or back in time and you're not here.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Awareness doesn't mean you're fearful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's all interesting, and like our sense of awareness as women in growing up as a woman it has also been different than say my brother.
Yeah.
Because my awareness of walking to my car in an empty parking lot at night with keys between my knuckles and being aware of my surroundings is going to be different than a man walking to his car.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, of course. I had this discussion with my brother about that recently. And it's just different because men and women think so differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so different because they just don't have to go through what we have to go through.
I think a big part of healing in our life is releasing the fear so that we're not looping in our fear thoughts and getting caught because then that builds anxiety in us.
Yeah.
Releasing fear and challenging what scares us will only build more confidence in our abilities and recognizing our own power that we have. Every day that takes work.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the opposite of fear is trust.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're in a state of like worry and fear and I'm fretting and I'm looping my thoughts and they're starting to escalate and like they're spinning out of control and then I'm going into all these different worst case scenarios. If I put my hands on my heart and I come back into trusting everything's going to work out the way that it needs to, I can release all of that because whatever we're thinking, we're building for ourselves.
That's why I think coming back to God is always such a great thing for people because I do believe that if you're able to put your fear and worries in God's hands, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
If you can just
That's trusting, right?
If you can just say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to let you. Some people might say the universe. That's fine. You can say whatever you want. It's not the universe. It's God because how can a universe be a thing? Like someone has to make it. So, saying that, okay, you know what, whatever happens, I'm putting my trust in God and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let God deal with that. If you can do that, that's a big relief.
That's full trust, Jess.
Yeah.
That's full trust. That's relinquishing the need to control to protect yourself. That is full trust.
Yeah.
That's hard for so many people and like for me too. Like whenever I can get caught in a loop of fear, I always just try to drop back into trust. I trust God. I trust my power. I trust my abilities.
Yeah.
I trust that everything will work out the way that they need to. And they always do. And I watch when I make decisions out of fear, how that brings more challenges for me.
Right.
But when I make, and I, like if I'm at a crossroads and I have to think, okay, if I make this decision, I'll go down this path. If I make this decision, I'll go down this path. This decision's out of fear and this decision's out of trust. I'm always working on trusting and going down the path of trust and truth for myself.
Yeah.
Even if it's the more uncomfortable path.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as we want to control everything in order to feel safe and secure, it's not always what's best for us.
Yeah.
Right? That keeps us in the loop of fear.
It sure does. Yeah.
Yeah. So biggest takeaway that I'm sharing today is always make decisions from a place of love and trust, what feels best for you and not out of fear. Fear, you're just going to keep pulling more fear, more challenges to you because you're not learning to grow. Right? But that's also kind of like the levels of the game, right? Those are the challenges that you're meant to overcome.
Yeah.
Those obstacles.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to add on this? Fear and worry? Do you have any other?
One thing that I was reading about power versus force from David Hawkins, how he says that, and you see this with people that have more power in the world, more control over media or politics, how societies run. They often benefit, and this is also big industry, like big pharma, a huge one, that they benefit off of people's fear.
Yeah, they sure do. That's so true. And that's what it's, I mean, isn't that's just so true. That's just like a fact. Like nothing else to say to that. Totally.
Yeah.
100%. So you have a book to recommend? Because I have a book to recommend too. So I don't know do you have a book to recommend? Is that what that is?
This book, Power versus Force by David Hawkins, it was a game changer for me because it's what blended the spiritual aspect and the scientific aspect together to make everything make sense. Around consciousness, around our emotions, around energy, in a scaled way where we can even test ourselves and our muscles with applied kinesiology, learn like how we can, if something resonates, our body strengthens, and when something doesn't, it weakens. Just like when we watch TV, I can feel my body weaken, right? So because it's a lower vibration.
Yeah.
Versus if I'm going and dancing or singing, my body strengthens and I'm in more power and light.
Yeah.
So this one of the best books I've read.
Yeah, I like that book. That's a good book.
What's your
How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. I love that book.
Yeah, you've read that a few times.
I've had that book by my bed for 20 years.
Wow.
25 years probably. Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
And I just go back to it every so often whenever I need to and go back through it. And it just helps me to remember to be present is really the teachings of it.
Yeah.
Is just to live in, one of the things I always remember is to live in day-tight compartments.
Right.
So it's like a ship when you think of the water going over. There's only so much that you can fill. So that's enough for today. I've filled my compartments.
I've just started reading A Course in Miracles, and it's a channeled book from Jesus, and it's like his teachings of the way. And he always reminds me that fear is an illusion. Fear is something that we create for ourselves.
Yeah.
So I'm always reassessing my own fear and like what that illusion is for myself, because it's always a lesson. If you can learn from your fear and grow from it, you're taking the lesson. And that's how we evolve.
Yeah.
Right? That's how we grow. So I'm always just assessing, why does this scare me so much, and how can I overcome it? Right? How can I drop into more trust and faith and let go of whatever is not serving me?
Yeah. Well, on that note, do that.
Peace, rabbit.
Thank you.